Received an anonymous tip telling me my wife was with the guy she told me not to worry about. My wife, let's call her Sam, 36F, and I, 40M, have been together for 5 years and got married last year. We definitely have our ups and downs in our relationship, but we're generally happy. On Friday, she went out with people from her work for Christmas drinks and arrived home around midnight, absolutely hammered. She just said she'd had a good time and went straight to bed. Yesterday, I got a message on Instagram from an anonymous account claiming to be one of her colleagues, saying she had been flirting all night with one of the guys from the office, 44M, and they had left together at about 9 to walk to the train station. The colleague had a couple more drinks and then went to the station herself. She says she saw my wife walking hand in hand with the guy through the station at about 10:45, so nearly 2 hours later they were still together, and they didn't see her. Last night, I showed her the message and asked her for an explanation. She claims she was so drunk that she doesn't remember anything that happened after about 8 p.m. I asked if she went somewhere with the guy after they left the group, and she checked the location history on her phone, which confirmed that they had gone to a bar near the station for about an hour, and then they later arrived at the station at 10:40. She gave me her phone and insisted I check it, and there were no suspicious messages or anything. As far as I could tell, she doesn't have the guy's number in her phone, and they're not following each other on Instagram or friends on Facebook. I asked if she was flirting with him, and she admitted that she was talking mostly to him all night. She explained that it's because he's the only person in her office she has anything in common with, and they're just friends. She insisted it wasn't flirting. She's mentioned this guy to me before and said how much they have in common. I asked if they were holding hands, and she said she doesn't remember, but she doesn't think so. She claims to know who sent me the message and says it's a woman in the office who hates her, although she doesn't know why. Today, she's been in a terrible mood, and we've not really spoken. So that's where we are, and I'm not sure what to do. Is this as big a red flag as it seems to be? Update 1. Sam came home from work on Monday and casually said that she had spoken with a coworker, Tom, and he had confirmed that they hadn't held hands. They had just been walking arm in arm because she was drunk and wearing heels. I asked why her colleague, Helen, would make an Instagram account, track me down, and message me, saying they held hands if it wasn't true. She said Helen is basically in love with Tom and made a pass at him just after his divorce, but he rejected her. I asked why Helen would feel threatened by her, and she said it's because she and Tom are friends, and Helen is a crazy, jealous person, as evidenced by the Instagram message. I asked why she went for a drink with just Tom, and she said that according to Tom, they walked past this bar with an amazing band playing, so they stopped in for a drink. Her only regret was doing too many shots too early and getting wasted. The next day, she went shopping after work and came home with a new dress. I asked what the occasion was, and she said her work Christmas party. Last week was just drinks with people from her office, and the company Christmas party is on Friday. Apparently, she had mentioned this, but I can't recall. I hardly slept that night. The next day, I decided to reply to the Instagram message to get some more info. I asked, do you think anything's going on with them? Helen, I assume, quickly replied with a long message, saying that they flirt at work, and everyone's noticed. Apparently, Sam was going to be let go, but Tom put in a good word, so she kept her job. Tom protects her in the office and will constantly defend her. She also said that Sam complains about me to the entire office, and it's clear we don't have a happy marriage. I asked if she was going to the Christmas party, and she said she was. She mentioned that she'd update me if anything happened. Sam finished work early on Friday, so she had time to get ready. She looked amazing, and I really didn't want her to go, but I felt like I couldn't say anything. I got an Instagram message around midnight, saying that Sam and Tom hadn't interacted at the party, but people from the office had decided to leave and go to a different bar. They all left just before 11 and were at the new bar by 10 past, but Sam and Tom turned up just before midnight. Sam arrived home at about 2 a.m., not quite as drunk as last time, and went straight to sleep. I pretended to be fast asleep, and then later I looked at the location history on her phone. After leaving the venue, she had taken a 3-mile detour to a residential street, stayed for half an hour, and then gone to the bar. I sent the address to Helen. She didn't reply until the next morning when she said it was Tom's house. When Sam woke up, I just asked her straight out if she cheated on me with Tom last night. She angrily denied it. I told her that I knew she'd been to Tom's house. She accused me of spying on her, called me controlling, and said she was going to stay with her sister. I demanded an explanation, and she said she went to his house so they could share a joint before heading to the bar. Then she stormed out. She wouldn't reply to my messages or answer my calls all day Sunday. I called her sister, who said she hadn't seen her, but she texted me later that she'd spoken to Sam and said she was okay. Sam came home yesterday morning, and I asked where she'd been. She just said she couldn't do this anymore and wants a divorce. She went to start packing some clothes while I tried to get her to talk to me. I asked if she was leaving me for Tom. She once again denied anything inappropriate had happened between them, but said my jealousy was the final straw. It's clear I don't trust her, I'm controlling, I take her for granted, and that she's deeply unhappy and has been for a while. So she's gone now. It looks like I'll be spending my first Christmas alone. I have no idea if she was telling the truth or if it was an affair. Weirdly, I'm not feeling too bad today, so maybe this is for the best. Update 2. Once she was gone, Sam blocked me on all her social media and refused to return my messages or answer my calls. I ended up traveling to the other side of the country to spend Christmas with my parents. On Christmas Eve, Sam came home and took more of her stuff. I watched her on our security cameras, and I tried phoning her, but she ignored my calls. Christmas wasn't great, and my parents were both shocked and in denial about what had happened. They had no idea we were having issues and insisted Sam would come to her senses and come home. Eventually, I just said she'd met someone else, and I returned home on the 27th. I'd been getting sporadic updates from Sam's sister, just letting me know she's alright but without any details. Before all this happened, we'd made plans to spend New Year's Eve at Sam's favorite bar in the city. I went on my own, but she didn't show up. On Tuesday night, I received an Instagram message from Helen saying that Sam and Tom had arrived at work together in Tom's car. I didn't bother replying. On Wednesday night, she sent another message saying Sam was poisoning the office against her and that Tom was pushing upper management to transfer her to another office or get rid of her. She begged me to do something. I texted Sam and said we needed to talk, but she didn't reply. So the next day, I called her work switchboard, gave a fake name, and got put through. I could tell she wasn't happy to hear my voice, but she agreed to meet up after work at a local pub and talk. I got there early, and she arrived 25 minutes late. She apologized for ignoring my calls and said she still cares about me and wants to end things on good terms. I said, just tell me the truth. She promised that she wasn't having an affair with Tom and they were just friends. She admitted that they talk a lot in the office, but insisted it wasn't an emotional affair. She understands why I was suspicious after the Instagram message, but said I should have accepted her denial and trusted her. She has a lot of male friends, but she felt like she couldn't hang out with them because I'd get jealous. I pointed out that I've never told her not to hang out with anyone, but she said I'd be moody whenever she'd hang out with a guy friend. She feels like we only got married to try to fix a relationship that was already broken. Our conversations have devolved into small talk, and we've drifted apart. I said I'd heard that she and Tom arrived at work together. Sam said she went to Tom's after I accused her of cheating and knew it was over between us. They spent the weekend together and agreed that they'd make a better couple than we did. She needed me to know that nothing happened between them until after she told me she wanted a divorce, and now they were together. She wanted me to hear it from her first before I saw it on social media. Tom was waiting outside for her in the car. All I could do was stand up and walk out. Sam texted me, saying she knew I was upset but not to do anything stupid. I blocked her number. I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough night. The next day, I was just numb and didn't really do much. Over the weekend, I dug out our marriage certificate so I can start divorce proceedings. I've no idea what to say to Helen, so I haven't replied. I think the plan now is to try and find a new job closer to my hometown. I moved across the country to live with Sam, and I've never really felt settled here. I also don't want to run into her and Tom around town, and luckily, we rent. This will probably be my last update unless something miraculous happens, so thanks for reading.